Hello everybody, this is the first lesson for SAT Math Prep, which the whole course suite includes 60 lessons, quizzes, tests, worksheets. Email me here if you want further information about PowerPoints or video. Lesson 1.1, Getting Acquainted with the Redesigned SAT. What does the SAT measure? The math sections of the new SAT seek to measure a student's understanding of and ability to apply those mathematic concepts and skills that are most closely related to successfully pursuing college and career training. Why do colleges require the SAT? College admission officers know that students who apply to their college come from a wide variety of high schools and have different grading systems, curricula, and academic standards. SAT scores make it possible for colleges to compare the course preparation, the performances of applicants by using a common academic yardstick, your SAT score. Together with your high school grades and other information, this is what college admission officers use to predict your chances of success. How have the SAT math sections changed, you might ask? Here are 5 key differences between the math sections of the SAT given before 2016 and the SAT for 2016 and beyond. There is no penalty for wrong answers. Multiple choice questions have 4 rather than 5 answer choices. Calculators are permitted on only 1 of 2 math sections. There's less emphasis on arithmetic reasoning and greater emphasis on algebraic reasoning, with more questions based on real-life scenarios and data. The new math topics are manipulating more complicated algebraic expressions. Completing the square for both variables will be an example of this. So that would be one area that you would have to prepare to probably do well on this math SAT. Performing operations involving the imaginary unit I, where I is the square root of -1. Solving more complex equations, including quadratic equations with a leading coefficient greater than 1, as well as non-factorable quadratic equations. Working with trigonometric functions in radians as well as degrees. Test feature old SAT, new SAT. Test time 70 minutes, 80 minutes. Number of sections 3, 2, 1 5-minute calc section and 1 25-minute no calc section. Number of questions 54, 44 multiple choice, 10 grid-ins. This is the old SAT. The new SAT is 58, 45 multiple choice and 13 grid-ins. Calculators allowed for each section of the old SAT. Permitted for longer math section only in the new SAT. Point penalty for wrong answers, yes for the old, no for the new. Multiple choice questions, 5 answer choices, A to E for the old SAT, 4 answer choices for the new. Test feature, point value, each question counts as 1 point. The new, each counts as 1 point. Math content, topics from arithmetic, algebra, geometry, only a few algebra 2 topics, not aligned with college-bound high school math curricula. Greater focus on 3 areas, algebra, problem solving, and data analysis and advanced math. More algebra 2 and trigonometry topics, more multi-step problems, and more problems with real-world settings, meaning word problems. Stronger connection to college-bound high school mathematics courses. What math content groups are tested? The new test includes math questions drawn from the 4 major content groups: Heart of Algebra, Problem solving and data analysis, ratios, proportional relationship, percentages, complex measurements, graphs, data interpretation, step measurements, passport to advanced math, analyzing working with advanced expressions, additional topics in math, essential geometric and trigonometric relationships. Math content group, heart of algebra, key topics, solving various types of linears, creating equations and inequalities, represent relationships, polynomials and factoring, calculating midpoint, distance, and slope in the xy plane, graphing linear equations and inequalities in the xy plane, solving systems of linear equations and inequalities, recognizing linear functions and function notation. Math content group, problem solving, data analysis, analyzing and describing relationships using ratios, proportions, and percentages and units of measurement, describing and analyzing data and relationships using graphs, scatter plots, and two-way tables, describing linear and exponential change by interpreting parts of a linear exponential model, summarizing numerical data using statistic measures. Math content group, passport to advanced math, performing more advanced operations using polynomial rational equations and rational exponents, recognizing the relationships between zeros, factors, and a graph of a polynomial function, solving radical, exponential, and fractional equations, completing the square, solving non-factorable quadratics, parabolas and their equations, nonlinear systems of equations, transformations of functions and their graphs. Math content group, additional topics in math, area and volume of measurement, equation of a circle and its graph, performing operation complex numbers, working with trigonometric functions. What types of math questions are asked? Multiple choice, 4 possible choices, student-produced response questions, grid-ins, we'll get into grid-ins. How are the math sections set up? The redesigned SAT has 2 math sections, a section in which calculator is permitted, and a shorter section in which calculator is not allowed. The 55-minute calc section contains 38 questions. The 25-minute no calc section has 20 questions. 2 types of math section, calculator math section, 55 minutes. 30 multiple choice plus 8 grid-ins equals 38 questions. No calculator math section is 25 minutes. 15 multiple choice, 5 grid-ins for the no calc section. Math content area, calculator section, no calculator section, total. Heart of algebra, 11, 8, 19. Problem solving, data analysis, 17 total. Passport to advanced math, 7. Non-calculator, 9, 16. Additional topics in math are 3 calculator, 3 non-calculator, 6. 38, 20, 58, 38 calculator, 20 no calc, so your total will be 58. How are the SAT math scores reported? When you receive your SAT math score, you'll find your raw math test score has been converted to a scaled score from 200 to 800, 500 representing average, SAT math score. In addition, the 3 math test subscores will be reported for the following areas: heart of algebra, problem solving, data analysis, and advanced math. Difficulty levels of the questions. As you work your way through each section, questions of the same type, multiple choice or grid, and gradually become more difficult. And so easier questions are at the beginning and harder at the end. You should therefore concentrate on getting as many of the earlier right as possible. Tips for boosting your score. If a question near the beginning of a math section seems very hard, then you're probably not approaching it in the best way. Reread and then try it again. If a question near the end of the math section seems easy, beware. You may have fallen into a trap. Read each question carefully. Make sure you understand what's being asked. Keep in mind that when creating multiple choice questions, the test makers try to anticipate common student errors and include these among the answers. Tips for boosting your score. Don't panic or be discouraged. Very few test takers are able to answer all the questions in the section correctly. Since easy and hard count the same, don't spend a lot of time on a hard one. Try to get as many of the easy ones right as you can. And that is 1.1 of SAT Math Prep. Email me here if you have any questions about PowerPoint's videos. Thank you very much.